What is up, my beautiful people, my besties, my internet humans? Today I said, let's do some girl talk. I just want to shoot the shit. I want to talk about all the dating things, all the fun topics you'll have for me. And I said, what better way to do that than bring on a special guest, the internet's big sister. We're going to do Girl Talk with Tabs. So joining me in the studio, Miss Tabitha, what's up?
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I've got just a long list of topics to chit chat about. So we'll dig into that. But like first, for those who live under a rock and don't know who you are, which by the way, guys, if you don't know who she is, she's got just a casual 14 million followers on TikTok. My mind exploded when I saw that. But okay, just like give me like a 10-second Cliff Notes version of who the hell you are.
I'm from a tiny town in Missouri. I've grown up doing pageants my entire life, and I got the opportunity to move to Los Angeles. I moved out there, met some really cool people, and now I live with all of my best friends in a house.
How many people in a house?
There's actually only 4 of us. Then we have another roommate, Nick. So it's just us, 2 couples, Alex and Cover, and then my boyfriend and I all live together. So.
How many bathrooms do you have? I need to know this.
Okay, ironically, this house we got so lucky with, I think it has I'm not kidding, I think it has 8 bathrooms. Like, I think we each have 2 bathrooms. Like,
okay,
yeah.
I was going to say, like, if we've got 5 people in a 1-bathroom situation, I was like, Godspeed to you. But
yeah,
okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
We love that. So what is next for you? Like, I kind of took a deep dive on your TikTok. I know we kind of mentioned some fun things. Can you mention on the pod, like, what's on the horizon for you?
Okay, so like I said, I do pageants. I am doing my last ever pageant. I decided to sign off. I'm doing it in Missouri, so kind of going back to the roots. And I'm also starting music right now. I feel like everyone says they're starting music, but I'm writing a song about a special someone.
Okay.
The world will see
very soon.
So.
Yeah, which is why you're in Nashville, music capital. Like,
exactly.
Wait, I have to ask, are you going like country vibes? Are we like pulling a Beyonce? Like, what's your musical vibe?
Okay, so funny. I actually came out to Nashville like a year ago, and I did write a country song. It was like a country love song. And then I just like stared and just like looked at it for a really long time. And I was just like, will my fan base like a country song? And everyone else like that I know has convinced me that I should totally release a country song. But I think I am going to release something that I'm more passionate about first.
Okay.
And then maybe give them the country song.
Look, country's here to stay after like Beyonce and Miley. Like, you can always pivot and go country. So I actually support that.
Right.
I can see you in like a cowboy hat, like doing a country.
Back to the roots again.
Yes. Yeah. You're from Missouri. Look, it can all work out for you. I cannot wait to hear the song. Y'all stay tuned for that. Let's just like dig into this. Okay. So the podcast is called Off the Rails, where we talk all things unhinged because we're all messy ass humans. Right. I have to ask you. Sorry, I didn't prepare you for this one. I probably should have.
Oh, no.
What's the most like off the rails thing that has happened to you lately, that you've done lately? Anything come to mind?
Oh, gosh. Lately, I feel like, okay, my life has been pure chaos, like my entire life. Like, God really was just like, chaos is just going to follow you. I think that I've pulled it together recently because I haven't been doing much. But like the most chaotic thing recently is I went to France, but as like 12 hours before my flight, I realized I don't have my passport. Oh my
God, so this is my literal recurring nightmare.
Yeah, no, I got on the Delta app and it was like, don't forget your passport. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm in Missouri. So like I can't just go to my LA closet and grab my passport out of my closet. No. So I like tried everything. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this. Like, I'm going to have to take a hit here, and my best friend and I aren't going to be able to go, and it's going to be my fault. But then I was like, wait, my friend Nick is at home. And if I throw Nick some money, I bet he will hop on a flight right now. Ironically, Nick's mom works for Delta. And so she can get him free Delta flights. So I was like, oh my gosh, what are the odds of that? So I text Nick and I was like, hey, I'll give you $500
Let me tell you what I would do for $500. Be like, what do you want?
No, literally. But he didn't respond back. So I was like, I texted him at like 7 a.m. in the morning, like not the day of the flight, the night before the flight. So I texted him at like 7 and I was like, hey, like, can you bring this? I'll give you $500. No response. So I was like, okay, I'll up the pay. He didn't respond. So I was like, listen, bro, I'll give you X amount of money if you bring this right now. And he was just like, yo, bro, sorry, I just woke up. I would have like taken the $500. I was like,
and now he knows that you're going to offer more.
Yeah, right. So I was like, oh my gosh, of course. He's like, okay, I'll see what I can do. This man flew from all the way from Los Angeles to Georgia to Missouri to bring me this passport at 3 a.m. in the morning. My flight, I had to leave for the airport at 4 a.m. My flight left at 6 a.m. that morning. I had the passport in my hand by like 4:30 a.m. Like, I've never cut it so close. Like,
anxiety I have for you right now.
Yeah. No, you know what's even better is that Nick forgot the passport in the house, had to go back from his Uber, ran to go grab the passport.
No.
Not only did he forget it in the house, he forgot it in the Uber. And so I was like, I was like, Nick, you're telling me you made it all the way to the airport and you forgot my passport? And they was, yeah, that's exactly what happened. But it's fine, I got it. I was like, oh my God. I was like, every flight he got on, I was like, bro, is my passport in your hand? Oh, let me check. I'm like, what? That's the reason why you're coming. Like, why do you not know where the passport is? So yeah, like, even whenever he like handed it to me, I was still like, I flipped it up. I was like, oh my God, it's okay, it's still there. Yeah. But
wow. You know what? You can take comfort knowing that you were meant to be in France.
Yeah. Okay. But I've thought about this. I was like, so many little things have happened like this in my life to where I'm like, am I meant to go? Is it like, okay, here, I'm like, God, am I supposed to go on this trip if you made him forget the passport in the Uber, if he almost forgot it at the airport, if he almost didn't make it in time to the airport to give it to me to get on the flight? Is it like a challenge? Like, if you want to go to France, here's a challenge.
Right.
First.
Like, is it fate or were you actually not?
Yeah.
Were you going against fate by going? Well, did you have a good time at least in France?
Oh my gosh, yes. I was only there for 72 hours.
What?
And we got food poisoning. My friend got more food poisoning than I did, but it was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love a little 72-hour food poisoning France trip.
Exactly.
It's casual.
We literally powered through. Like, we like took some ibuprofen. We're like, okay, we're going to make it through. We got to go try the coffee. We have to try the pasta. Yeah. So, yeah.
Throw up on the side, another bite of pasta. It's fine.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Well, my recurring nightmare will continue about forgetting my passport, but I guarantee you I will double check more after hearing your story. Wow. Okay, let's just I'm curious because you're social media guru. I also dabble in the social media world, not to your extent.
No, I looked at your account. You be dabbling because I saw all your stagecoach content.
She be dabbling. We try our best. I'm just really good at sharing my thoughts, my unwarranted thoughts that no one cares about on the internet. But your TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, you do literally all the things. So fuck, marry, kill, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Fuck Snapchat.
Dude,
but because we like Snapchat. There's
you like it. See, Snapchat stresses me the hell out.
Really? Oh my gosh, I love Snapchat. Well, I like it because they be paying on Snapchat. Snapchat is just I have made more money on Snapchat in a singular day than I have on any other platforms combined in a month. So
whoa, skirt, rewind. When I deleted my Snapchat literally as soon as I graduated college, and now I'm like, did I just fuck up?
No, re-download it. It's so worth it. So I would say a TikTok, fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of
marry Snapchat.
Okay,
wait, I want to marry Snapchat. We can get rid of TikTok because it's already gonna get rid of itself.
True.
Yeah, and then kill Instagram, I guess. Wait, no.
Yeah, which one are you fucking?
I guess Instagram.
Okay. That can be taken.
I wish Instagram was still just a photo platform. I just don't like that there's reels. I don't like I don't even like the whole what else? The music. I despise when I'm scrolling through and randomly music will start playing.
Thank you. I literally just had this conversation, and look, I support all you people who put music on your photo posts, but it's weird.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's bizarre.
Oh my gosh, I literally, this is so random, but I wanted to see where Heidi D'Amelio's purse was from today, and I went to go click on it, and just started blaring espresso in my face. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, can you not tag when there's music? I don't know.
It's just strange. Instagram is a strange place. I also agree with it. Look, I'm all for being a bit more vulnerable and posting reels and I guess unedited things, but man, it was just real easy to be a hot girl on Instagram back in the day.
Yeah.
You just take a pretty photo, you post it, you get some likes, you move on with your day. Now I have to record every ounce of my life.
Right.
I have to do get readies with me. I have to find trending songs, and I'm like, it's just exhausting.
Yeah.
It's literally exhausting.
I think I also just miss the whole, I wasn't in the social media space when this whole era was going on, but the whole visco, colorful.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I loved that. I loved watching Liza Koshy and my friend Lexi Hensler. I used to watch her stuff all the time. So
I randomly, funny story. Wow. The universe is weird. I went on a private plane with Lexi to Coachella 2 years ago. That is such a random
Wait, no way. That's so random.
Random side note. Yeah.
And I bet she had the most colorful unicorn outfits ever. Yeah,
100%.
She was the queen of Coachella.
I just remember my life is also very weird where I just get myself into situations where like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a Coachella girly, but like I ended up on this like private plane with all these influencers
so random,
for my first Coachella ever. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? And yeah, I saw her and I had no idea who she was. I was just like, who is this like beautiful, fun, precious unicorn of a human?
Unicorn. She's like, that's the best way to
unicorn
to describe Lexi. Yeah.
Yeah. Go look her up if you don't know who we're talking about, and you'll get total unicorn vibes.
Exactly.
Wow. We love Small World. Okay. You're big on the internet. Craziest thing that's happened to you on the internet, if anything? I'm sure there's a lot.
There's so many. Like I used to do, well, I didn't start this. Someone else started this, but I was going to do like the 50 dates, 50 states thing.
I was going to ask you about that.
I started to do that. You will not believe this, okay? I have Mormon friends, okay? So we have Mormon friends.
Okay.
I met this guy in Utah. He was a Mormon guy. I didn't know he was Mormon, okay? And we were doing like the 50 states, 50 dates thing. Utah was the pick, okay? We went on a date. I liked him, so I stayed an extra week. So I was in like Utah for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
He took me like on little dream dates. I was like, oh my gosh, I could like live here forever. But then he started to do things like, I was addicted to coffee, and he was like, I dare you not to drink coffee for 2 weeks.
I'd tap out right then and there.
I was like,
say, bye.
a man with a goal for me. Okay. So I was like, okay, I won't drink coffee. And he was like, okay, I also dare you not to drink or not to eat bacon. Just like random things. I was like, okay, I won't eat bacon. But we were also like driving by this building, and he's like, oh, that's the really pretty building that like my family and I get married in. I was like, oh, that's so cool. What a pretty random building. So yeah, I was like really excited about him. Went home, told my 2 friends, and they're like, Tabitha, I think he's Mormon. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding when I say I grew up under a rock. Like, no social media whenever I was younger, no talking to boys. So whenever I got into the world and I was like, men want to talk to me.
What?
So like whenever I started to experience things, I on God never heard of like Mormons. Like I've never met like someone who was Mormon or anything. So I was just like, oh my gosh. So I texted him. I was like, are you Mormon? And so he was just like, yeah, I am. I was like, that's a really important thing to talk about. And he was just like,
maybe start with saying that.
No, I was like, dude, what? And he was just like, well, I was like, I'm not Mormon, and I'm just not, I'm Christian. Like I grew up in a Christian family. And he was just like, well, that's really disappointing because like, you're not going to make it to heaven. And like this, he goes, I was your only in. He was like, I was
the
your
ego
way.
on this
he was
man.
Like, I was your in to like the heavens. I was like, oh my gosh.
But you also told me not to drink coffee and not to eat bacon. So like, bro, we don't see the same.
I was like so confused. But you know what's like really funny? I did like him in like week 2. His mom was talking about blackberry bushes and how she loves blackberries, but like she doesn't have blackberry bushes. So I bought her a bunch of blackberry bushes while I was in town, and we planted them in her backyard.
That's wholesome.
So now he can think about his mistakes every time he has a blackberry pie from his mother. So
wait, all I can think about, should I know this? Do Mormons not eat bacon?
Wait, I don't even know. It may not even. It may have been like pork. Pork? Bacon's pork.
I don't know, but I
grew up on a farm. Bacon's pork.
All you Mormon listeners, can you please message me? Like,
wait, I totally know they can't have coffee though, because like my friend Nicole,
I do know that coffee and alcohol. I know that.
Have you had a dirty soda?
No.
Oh my gosh, my friend Nicole she's like ex-Mormon, but she like when she was Mormon, she couldn't have coffee, so they did like dirty sodas, and they're like coffees, but not coffees, because it's like soda, but with like coconut and lime. Oh. I am not kidding. I am so addicted. If I don't have one every day,
really?
It's my. I don't even. Who cares about coffee? I'm pretty much Mormon now. I'm Mormon.
She is a Mormon girly.
Now, but no, you have to try a dirty soda. It's so good.
Is it caffeinated though? Because if it's not caffeinated, I'm not
interested.
interested.
I mean, there's caffeine in soda, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I get mine diet, so maybe I get mine caffeine free. I don't know, but there's a caffeine option for sure. But you have to try it.
Look, it's a placebo effect. If you think you're caffeinated, you are caffeinated. So like, okay, dirty sodas,
so good.
Okay, so minus that, we did. Did you go on a date? So you did 50 dates, 50 states, or you tried to. How many states did you get to?
I only made it to 5 states.
That's okay. That's like a good percentage.
Wait, you know what's funny? I was like traveling. Like social media wasn't like there for me quite yet, but I was like traveling during COVID. But
it's fine. We all did. Look, we all did.
My like cheapest flight was only like $28, and like I flew from like Texas to Utah. So like that was my Utah date. From Utah, I flew to like Arizona, I think, did a little date there. That one was so god awful. I don't even remember his name. But then from there, like my last date was a guy I ended up dating. So
Oh, so like it worked.
so I I guess it worked. I didn't successfully make it to all the 50
That's
states,
okay.
but I guess
But
I guess
you met
success was
someone.
yes, yeah.
How long did you date last boy?
Like 2 years, I think.
Oh, like a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, my follow-up question, how were you meeting these guys?
TikTok. Wait,
Really?
TikTok and like dating apps, honestly.
Okay.
I know it was like actually kind of concerning. Like my parents were like, my dad didn't let me date anyone. So whenever I was like, I'm free, I was like, I'm free.
We on them dating apps.
No, literally. So I just like downloaded every dating app and I was like, who can I meet? Which like didn't find much success there. And ironically, a lot of the guys that I met were on dating apps, but were also social media people. And I say social media people lightly because like they had like 5,000 followers at the time, but that's a lot of people.
For a guy too,
Yeah.
that's actually a ton of people.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of like, because I'm curious your take on this, and it's a struggle for me too. You're obviously dating someone. I don't know. I didn't creep hard enough. Are they also a social media personality?
Yes.
Is that something that you look for? Like you need someone to understand like being an influencer, or do you want someone like who wants nothing to do with it?
Okay, so I've actually thought about this because it's so weird because my ex-boyfriend did not do social media, but it was like his dying wish to do social media. So like whenever I did it and it started to like do well for me, when we'd be out in public, this is like the most beautiful comparison. Like this is so perfect, okay? So whenever I was in public, like some like little girl would run up and she'd be like, oh, you're Tabitha. And then she'd turn to my boyfriend and be like, you're Tab's boyfriend. Oh my gosh, it's such a pleasure to meet you. And like slowly that really got to him because he was just like, I don't want to be Tab's boyfriend. Like I want to be myself. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I get that. I was like, it was his dream to do social media. And here I am doing it and it's working incredibly. Like at the time, like it was when I was getting like 30 million views every video. Like, and it was just like,
sorry, what?
Yeah, it was like insane. Like it was with my siblings. They were like, they just adored my family. So like I was making sibling content and stuff like that. My boyfriend and I at the time had a long distance relationship. So when he'd be in public, people would be like, you're Tab's boyfriend. And like, by the way, like I was doing the 50 states, 50 dates thing. So like the whole relationship thing, the world was waiting for me to show
Find
who my
someone.
boyfriend
Yeah.
was. So like I like kind of let it on for a while. And then like after a month of dating this guy, I finally showed who he was. And like when I posted the Instagram photo with him, he gained 50,000 followers in just a couple hours. And then he was just like, wait, I don't want, so I untagged him. And we were just like, wait, maybe we underestimated the power of social media because this whole comment section was like, little girls, you mess her up, we'll find you. Don't break her heart, this and that.
This man's like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah. So, with that being said, he just didn't like being called Tab's boyfriend ever. So that didn't work out. We ended up breaking up. But ironically, my boyfriend now, we were like out and about and all these like little girls were like, you're Tab's boyfriend. By the way, he's been Michael his whole life. Like he has his own internet personality and he just like got introduced to a whole new audience. And so they were just like, the little girls are like, oh, you're Tab's boyfriend. It was the cutest thing. We were walking down the road. Someone literally said, you're Tab's boyfriend. Walking down the road and he saw this jacket shop, this printing jacket shop. He walked in and got a embroidery that says, hi, my name is Tab's boyfriend. Wears it out. When this man goes out to a bar,
cute.
He wears the jacket. Like he goes to a concert without me, wears the jacket. He goes to Vegas, wears the jacket. I'm like, if that's not like how? I'm like, that is the cute. And like he never knew the story about like my ex-boyfriend being like that being a huge problem in our relationship. So I was like, wow, okay, God.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like you can also take comfort in, I feel like this is the right person for you.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I love a full circle
Yeah.
moment like that. Besties, summer is here and that means warmer, sunnier days are calling and we don't always have time to stay home and make all of our meals. You feel me? Which is why I'm living for my Factor meals, making my life so much easier and honestly, way yummier. This summer, we are meeting our wellness goals thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. No matter how busy you are, you have the time. And let me repeat, they are delicious and nutritious meals in under 2 minutes. It is so game-changing for my busy bees or people who just need a little help in the kitchen. Make today the day you kickstart with a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you will literally never get bored, I promise you. It's easy to stay fueled and meet your fitness goals with these dietitian-approved, easy-to-make, fresh AF meals. I love that they have premium ingredients like filet mignon, shrimp, and salmon. There's so many options. Plus, a ton of different plans to support whatever your lifestyle is. You can choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat more well-balanced meals. For me personally, I do the high protein option, but hey, that's just me. If you are now sold, which I'm sure you are, and you want to try, head to factormeals.com/offtherails50 and use code offtherails50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. Again, that is code offtherails50 at factormeals.com/offtherails50 to get 50% off your first box. But like, let's rewind and talk about depressing shit. Let's talk about like your breakup, because I talk often on this podcast. I went through a public breakup. It was hard for me. I was not as much in the spotlight as you. We kind of were like a reality TV couple, but like that was the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my whole entire life. Right. And the thing that helped me heal the most was speaking about it on my platform. So I'm curious if you want to talk on that, and also like, how did you heal from that being someone who is so public?
Right. Okay. Well, we broke up some odd years ago now.
Okay.
But I guess throughout our whole relationship, there were flags. It was my first boyfriend ever. So like, I've only had 2 boyfriends. He was my first boyfriend ever. So I think I just really wanted to fall in love so bad that I just like threw out any flags ever. So when we visited my family for like the first time, a girl had messaged me and she's like, hey, just letting you know, like he was messaging me, blah, blah, blah. Something about messaging him or messaging each other. And that was like 6 months in. I should have been done then. Like it should have been done because like.
Let me tell you about how I relate to this so hard.
Yeah.
Feel ya.
Yeah. So like it was also the first time he lied too. Cause I was like, you know how ironic this is? He goes, I was not talking to her while we were together. I was like, okay, well, she's showing me this photo. And I was like, do you see something suspicious about this photo? He's like, no, I sent her that selfie so long ago. I'm like, okay. So if you were to squint, cock your head sideways, you'll notice that's my crew neck you're wearing. So that's my shirt.
No.
And you lied. And he's like, it won't happen again. Pretty much. That was it. Like he pretty much like deemed this girl a liar and just said it won't happen again. Like he wasn't talking to her like that. I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I'm like so in love. I was like, I believe it. And so things like that just continuously started to happen. It was also like people change. So if this version of him has changed, by all means, okay, you changed. But yeah. I know that whenever I first talked about this publicly one time, he like shut it down immediately. He like sent me this long message. He's like, stop slandering me on the internet. And I will say, like when I first started to talk about it, so much more immature. Like I'm sure I made some TikTok audio and like did a transition being like, look what you're missing. Like something like that.
Didn't we all though at some point in a breakup?
Yeah. So we dated for like a year. And I had this thing with my grandpa. Like my grandpa was I wanted my future husband to meet my grandpa, but I am not going to introduce you if you're not a long-term person. And my grandpa was really sick, and I was like, okay, well, my plan is to marry this person. I'm dating to marry. And I went to introduce my ex-boyfriend to my grandpa, and they met, and my grandpa was just like, okay, I'm not sure about him. And I was like, you know, that's a red flag. I should really take that. So I went back home, and like I didn't pick up on any red flags or anything. So there was this beautiful day where I like glanced at his phone and noticed that someone was texting him. And it's not the first time I've seen this name. Like I have seen her in the past, but I didn't think anything of it. Cause like, why would you cheat? Like that's so lame. So I asked him about this person. He's like, don't worry about it. She's a work friend. And I was like, okay, mind you, when I met this boy, he was like this crazy fun surfing guy, and he just lived like a very travel-based life. And so he ended up graduating, and he was a nurse. So like he did night shifts, and so he would sleep through the day. So I would not put it past anyone to just make connections with people or make friends with a job like that. Like I'm sure you like meet people like that. Did I think it was going to be a work wife? No. So they met each other. They were texting each other. He told me you wouldn't text her again, whatever. Okay, the process went on. I found it again. He said he wouldn't text her. Okay, so there was one night where he was gone, and I had this really weird feeling that he was doing something bad. So like he left to work that night, and I went to his house, flipped open his laptop. And by the way, I had already looked. I'm not someone who gets in my head. I'm not someone who checks phones. We had never checked each other's phones, but I'm like, maybe that's something.
But also,
that he's
your
hiding.
gut never lies.
Yeah,
Ever.
yeah. I was like, dude, this is weird. So I'm like, okay. And this is also whenever he's like, I don't want to be Tab's boyfriend. I want to be my own person. So he archived all of our photos on his Instagram. So like,
oh
and also had me archive my photos. So he's just like, but like, if you like at the time, I was like, oh my gosh, like how heartbreaking. Like I'm like ruining someone else's like dreams of being a social
you're
media
in
person.
love and
yeah. So I was like, I
yeah.
always gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna look because like if there's nothing, I'm gonna feel so much better. I go over to his house, flip up his laptop. There's a photo of her, and like it's not like a necessarily a bad photo, but this girl knows what she's doing. Like her cleavage is pushed together, and she's holding her dog. And it looks like maybe she's showing a photo of the dog. Like in my head,
not
I'm like,
using your dog as an escape.
literally.
Ma'am.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. So go to his house, flip it open. He comes home. I show him this. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm crying. He's crying. He's crying. I don't know why he's crying. So he's like, oh my God, it's never gonna happen again. I'm like, okay, I trust you. I trust you. And so at this time, I trusted him. Do you know what I found?
Not another dog photo.
No, not another dog photo. He took his laptop to work that time. He didn't leave his laptop, but you know what he left? His Apple Watch. Do you know what you can't do from an Apple Watch? Permanently delete your messages. Like you can't do that. Like unless you manually delete them from laptop, like Apple Watch and phone. I go on his Apple Watch. There's her messages. I'm you're shitting me right now. I'm like, you're literally lying. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna have an upper hand on this. I'm not gonna tell him I know. He comes home. He goes to bed. I flip open the laptop. I look at it. In his Google search is how to permanently delete text messages from Apple Watch, phone, and laptop. That's his Google search.
I shouldn't be laughing. I really shouldn't. But like the
like-
audacity of men.
I was like, okay. So this time I didn't let this little nurse sleep. I was like, no. I woke him up and I was like, oh my gosh, what? And like, he's like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm going home. I was like, I need my parents. I'm like, I also like his whole thing was like, don't bring other people into our relationship. They don't need to know. Like it needs to be just between us. So I never opened up to any. I had no friends. I had nobody. All I had were my parents. So I like went home to my parents, was a sobbing mess. And to make matters 20 times worse, I go home to go talk to my grandpa. I talked to my grandpa. The next morning, I find out that he passed away. Yeah, the one person, like it was so important to me that he like got to meet someone that like I was going to marry. And I was like, okay, but the beauty in this is if he wasn't a trashy boyfriend, I would have never gone home. So I'm like, I would have never gotten to say bye. So I'm like,
silver linings.
there's like so many things that I'm just like, wait, if he wasn't a horrible human and I would have never gotten to say goodbye. So I was like, wait, okay. So I was at home. I told him, hey, like my grandpa just passed away. Again, my only rock that I had at the time, other than my parents. Like you would expect your boyfriend to be there for you.
Yeah, 100%.
He like called me one time, and I was like, hey, like why aren't you giving me what I need? There's no comfort here. Like my grandpa's not here. He didn't volunteer to fly out. He didn't volunteer to come to the funeral. And I was in such a bad mental state that I like didn't go to the funeral myself. I was like, I just want to go back home. I can't go to the funeral. This is like, I can't experience this. So I went back home. I'm like, we're like sitting there arguing this is crazy. We're sitting there arguing on the bed because I'm like, what kind of person doesn't come and check on their girlfriend? We're arguing and he goes, you want to know the truth? I was like, sure, let me know the truth.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're just not interesting anymore. And I was like, my grandpa just died and you're going to tell me that I'm not interesting anymore? Which I'll give it to him. Like I got rid of all my friends. Like I didn't travel. I dedicated my life to this man. Like I was like, okay, you're going to be a nurse. Then I will cook for you. I will clean for you. I will do. And that's not who I am. Like, all like props to all the women who like do that for a man. But I'm just like, I just one day I'm sure I'll settle and want to do that, settle down, want to do that and start a family. But I'm just like, I'm such a go-getter, want to travel, like just never saw myself living that life, but I would for someone. And so after that, I was like, okay, you want to see interesting? Fine. I'll go chase my dreams. You chase yours. So that night I booked a flight to Los Angeles, flew out to LA.
I love the end of this story.
It's not the end. Like, no, this is such a big plot twist. I fly out to LA. The first 24 hours in LA, my mom calls me. Like, I'm in the middle of vlogging. My mom calls me and she's sobbing on the phone. And I'm like, there's absolutely no way something had to have happened. Like, what is, like, I hate, like, my worst thing, I was like, oh my gosh, my siblings, oh my gosh, my dad, oh my gosh. And she goes, your grandma's not going to make it. My grandma also had cancer. And I was like, I have the vlog footage. I just sat there and I was like, oh, what? Like, and my boyfriend and I are still dating at the time. So I text him. I'm like, okay, like, hey, this is happening. I fly to Texas. That's where she was. I get there and, like, again, made it in time. Like, I made it in time, got to tell her goodbye. Maybe she was in Arizona. It somehow ended up ironically easier to reach her because I was in LA. It wouldn't have been as easy if I was in Florida. I'm not kidding. I flew there, went inside, said goodbye. She passed away. Like she was like, her last words to me were something about like chase your dreams, go after them, like do what you want, something like that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like what the heck? So I was like, I'm not doing a funeral. I just can't. Like in my head, I'm like, I've always had long distance relationships with my family. So like to this day, I've never seen the grave. Like I have never gone to her grave. And I'm just like, it just feels like a long distance relationship. Like to me in my head, I think she's still alive. That's how it feels for my grandpa too. So I go back to my Los Angeles apartment that I'm renting for the month. And I text him, not responding. It's like 2 a.m. in Florida. I'm not responding. Look at his location. He's at an apartment. And I'm like, hey, so like my grandma's dead. So like, you gonna like call me? You gonna like do anything? Like what's going on? Where are you? He's like, don't worry. Like I'm just like at a friend's house. Like I'm not doing anything. Okay. So he doesn't FaceTime me in the apartment. He refuses to. He FaceTimes me once he's in the car going across a bridge, like far away from the apartment. I'm like, okay. He FaceTimes me and he goes, what? I wasn't doing anything. And plus we didn't even share the same blanket. We had separate blankets.
I want to find this man immediately.
I was like, sure. I was like, what? Like his excuse was just like, she's not even a pretty girl. She's not even, like whenever a man just seems like they like someone or something and you're like, do you like her? And there's like, she's the ugliest girl I've ever seen.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Ew, like her hair, her nose is so big, like something like that. Around those lines, I was like, oh my God, okay, well, whatever. So I'm like, in the back of my mind, for the longest time, he was making an effort. He was going to therapy. He was doing all these things for our relationship. He was doing God only knows what. So I'm like, there's actually no way after all of that therapy that he went through that he's doing this right now. So it turns out, yeah, he was at her house. To this day, he won't admit that. Because he won't admit that publicly. Like I've said it online and he's just been like, he's texted me and been like, it wasn't even her, like blah, blah. I'm like, okay, who cares? I don't even care anymore. Like that's not the point. Like that ginormous story definitely made me grow. But to add the cherry on top.
Oh, there's more.
The last singular cherry on top. His dad, great person, amazing person. And I feel like his dad and him didn't have like the best relationship when they met. So I feel like his dad, like me being friends with his dad and like connecting, I think that bonded them more maybe. His dad will sporadically, his dad for the longest time was texting me and making sure that I was okay, like after the breakup. But the therapist that he was by or like going to was by his dad's house.
Pause real quick.
Oh, is that my phone? Oh my gosh, here, wait. Not Tab's boyfriend calling.
Stop.
Wait, well,
he better be wearing the shirt.
Can you imagine if he was? Here,
I'm dead. That's actually perfect.
But I like find out that the therapist he was going to was her apartment.
Wait,
he wasn't going to therapy. He was going to hang out with her because, and this all makes sense because the last text message that she sent was all deleted, by the way. There was only one message left. So it was like as if he had texted her and then he deleted everything and then she texted him one last time. So when I saw it was just like something about the location of where his therapist was.
So this girl was in on it the whole entire time too.
Probably for like a year of them like being night shift nurses together. He had the opportunity to be a morning shift nurse and he moved it to be with her at night. That's what it was. So I was like, you know what? Wouldn't have said goodbye to either of my grandparents. There was so much growth in that. And in fact, he actually, after all that time, I feel like I always wondered for years, I'm just like, what's wrong with me? Like, how could you ever put, like, why would you not just break up with me? Yeah, that would have been hard. But how can you put someone through that for 2 years of dating them? Like, it just blows my mind. Like, to this day, like, someone's grandpa died, someone's loving people die, and then you can't even just be there and you entertain another woman.
Do you think this man's a narcissist?
100%.
Okay.
Like
because I'm like, wow, I find so many. The guy I went through my breakup with, full blown narcissist, the textbook, And people can yell at me for saying that, but I'm sorry, look up a narcissist and like it is everything. And exact same thing, lack of empathy, like leading you on. Yours said that you weren't entertaining anymore. Mine made the excuse that he cheated on me because he needed to get out of the relationship. And I was like,
literally,
no. We were planning to go to Disneyland next week. You weren't trying to get out of a relationship. Like, and then it was,
you got caught.
You didn't clean the house enough. I'm not your maid, first of all. Yeah, no. It's so I on so many levels relate, and there will never be any accountability. But the best thing, and I assume we both did this, is like it's now our story to tell. And like a lot of people, and I'm sure you've dealt with this and faced it from him of like, well, don't publicize it. Don't. Right. And for the longest time, I was scared to share my feelings. And it's like, no, and I will say this, I'll scream it from a rooftop. If something happened to you, no, you don't have to go trash another person, but you now own your story. Right. You own your feelings and your experience. And by all means, you're allowed to share whatever you want that happened to you personally. And I feel like so many women are so scared to speak out because of judgment, or what if the guy has an issue with it? And it's like, no, I'm not telling you to go like print t-shirts with his face on it that say like, this man's an asshole. I support you if you want to do that. Yeah. But like, you're allowed to be like, hey, this is my story. This happened to me, because it's going to inspire so many other women to like also speak out.
Which is cool. Like, that's what I've like done the whole time. I'm like, there's so many young women who like message me such similar stories. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm sure. Or they're just like, I went through this breakup. I don't know what to do. I see no like light at the end of the tunnel. I'm like, oh girl, there is a light. Yeah. Like, trust me, you're going to like look back. You're going to look back like me years and years later, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh. And then years and years later, you're going to be in a happy relationship. And then he's going to send you a paragraph this long, like he did a month ago, of an apology. So
not an apology years later.
You know what's funny is it wasn't even an apology. Like, he sent it because we have each other blocked and everything. He sent it to his dad. His dad sent it to me because like his dad was like, hey, I don't know what this is about, but like he wanted me to send this to you. And I read it and I was like, never once did he say, I am sorry that I cheated. Like, whether he like did it physically or not, like if it was emotionally, I am sorry that I involved another woman. Like, he never did that. He was just like, you are so bright, you have like such a light, like still do everything for, you know what he said, oh my gosh, my parents wanted me to date a Christian man so bad. And the reason why I was like, okay, yes, I'll date this man, a big thing for me was like that he was a very strong Christian guy. And I guess I got that wrong, because he would do things where like he's like, no sex before marriage, right? But he would be like, he would push at me to have sex. And then when we took things too far, he would be like, now we have to repent. We have to involve the pastor. We have to go to church. We have to repent. It was a repeating process. So it like messed up so many things. Like the idea of a man touching me for the longest time, I'm just like, it felt guilty. Like, I just felt like I felt so wrong. Like, even dating my boyfriend now, like whenever, like the idea of a hand on a thigh, like things where I would just be like, oh my gosh, like how do I in my mind be like, this is wrong. This is wrong. Like, it's so weird. Like, he would do things like that all the time. Like, he would be like, you know, we weren't supposed to be doing this, but how is it so easy for you? You don't find me attractive because you won't sleep with me. You don't find me attractive.
Emotional abuse times
I was
10.
like, what? So like in that message, he was like, his thing was, Tabitha, you're not following God anymore. I hope I'm not the reason. Cause like he feels like you maybe ruined that for me or something, which, okay, yeah, sure. But I'm like, a relationship, whatever religion you are, can be private.
100%.
2, the fact that like his whole thing was like, we're a Christian couple, but like it was just his manipulation storm. I was like, this is how I'm like, if that's what dating a Christian looks like, I'm not interested. Don't care. Don't want a relationship like that. Like, I've never been yelled at more in my life. I was like, yeah, no, not at all. So like his whole apology was pretty much like, it didn't feel like an apology. It felt like, I still feel guilty for this, Tabitha. I need to depart from this, and I need to feel better about myself because I know I did something wrong, but I'm not sorry, but I feel like I have to get this off my chest.
Boy, bye.
Yeah. So he did that. I let my boyfriend now read it, and he was just like, I think he, because like even when I was reading it, I was just like, it just summoned the fact that my grandparents died. It summoned how long I was miserable, and it summoned the fact that like I'm like, my little sister's dating now. I'm like, oh my gosh, if she meets a man like that, like it built me to be who I am now. But I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I think I did cry. I was like crying. And he's just like, oh my god, my boyfriend now is like, I knew you went through it, but like I didn't know he did that. Like, he felt so bad, and it's just like, it takes a strong man to like be like, okay, my girlfriend was dating someone else. I can talk about this, not feel like any type of way, and just like be there. Like, he like stepped aside as my boyfriend and was just like, let me be there as like like a person you need right now, and not judge you for crying about this. Like,
wow,
it was crazy.
Precious angel. And that's how you know you're exactly where you're supposed to be.
Right. Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to ask a happy question and like dig and pry a little bit. I know via my creeping online that you are helping plan a wedding.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Cover and Alex are getting married. I think this is the royal wedding of the internet. The world has been waiting for this since TikTok has started. Yes.
So are you
bridesmaid?
Love that.
Yes, so excited.
Do you have the maid of honor duty or no?
No, her cousin is the maid of honor. So yeah, me and Lexi are bridesmaids though.
Fine.
Yes.
Do you see wedding bells in your future? Sorry, literally internet is begging me to ask.
Okay, yes, I do see wedding bells. You know, okay, this is like the craziest thing. I like for the longest time was like, I'm not getting married. After that, I was like, I'm not getting married. I'm not doing this. My parents are also split. So I'm like, I'm never getting married. Because I was like, I don't want that for myself. But now I'm not kidding. Like the other day we were getting coffee and I was like, I see a little kid and a mom. I'm like, do I want a kid right now? I'm like, wait, do I have a baby? I'm like, being in Nashville, I'm like, should I get a house? Should I just settle down?
Oh, everyone comes to Nashville like, do I need to marry a rancher and have a bunch of babies and live on a farm?
Exactly.
Feel bad.
Yeah. So like I'm trying to convince. I think I got Cover on board about moving to Nashville.
Okay.
Now I just need to like convince. So like Alex and Cover are getting an Airbnb here for a month. So I'm just like, come on, just taste all the good food. You'll want to stay. Like people here are so good. Like I love it here so much. So yeah.
It's a different vibe than LA. That is for sure. Look, we welcome you in Nashville with open arms. Open arms. Okay, I'm trying to think of like all these other, oh my God, there's so many things. Okay, well, we've got some girl talk questions from the people. Let's just let's dig into it as we're talking about shitty men. Your significant other going to strip clubs, okay or not? What's your opinion on that?
In advance, Michael, I'm sorry. Okay, so one time, Michael
she's like, I have a story.
One time, which whenever I met Michael, by the way, Michael and I had been friends for a while, like years. And we met when I was going through a breakup.
Okay. Like
the first time. And like, we just like, I'm not kidding, handshake bye. Like when we didn't see each other for 2 years, right? So he was a wild, wild boy. I was also his friend when he was like taking girls on dates and they were like chilling in a hot tub and so like we've been friends for a while. So there was this one time when we've learned that I don't know, drinking's not my specialty. I get mouthy. And so like I was drinking and I had this like bright makeup on from like a shoot I did. And he goes, I don't really like, he was being nice. He's like, I don't really think like that color's for you. He was like, I don't really like that color. And I was like, oh, so you don't like my makeup. And he's like, no, I'm just saying I don't like it. And I was like, okay, fine. Then I'm going to wear this on our wedding day. And he goes, fine. Then I'll go to a strip club on our wedding. And I was like, what? And he just like, duh, he's not going to do that. But he was just like proving how like dramatic I was being for like no reason. So he said that and like it was a disaster. Oh my gosh, that night was so bad. Like that tested our relationship for sure because we got in like such a big argument over something so stupid. But the answer is no strip clubs.
She's like, so what of the story
yeah, I'm like, absolutely not. Yeah, and now he's just like, he looks back at that time too and he's like, I can't believe, like, he doesn't like to be told no. And, like, apparently the girls he's dated in the past, he's kind of just been, like, wearing the pants. I don't wear the pants. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying, like, he's never been told no. I'm like, yeah, you're not doing that. So, but now I'm just like, okay, I would never tell someone no now because I'm like, I like when we first started dating, I was like, you can't go to Vegas, what? And I think it's just like insecurities from my past 100%. Relationship for sure.
After everything you went through, it makes nothing but sense to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Especially when you've been cheated on. Oh my gosh, the trust issues you have to work through. But also a no for me. Look, I think it's different for everyone. I think if you and your partner have that kind of relationship that is a little bit more flexible and open and you have no history of cheating or nothing but trust, I think it depends on the level of communication. If they're on a bachelor party and they're going to a strip club with their friends, sure, I guess. For me personally, I'm like, I just don't love the idea.
Yeah.
Because why is a man in a strip club? Like, it's to look at other women and I'm like, but like, you can look at me and like, I'll put on a cute outfit for you. Like, isn't that enough? Like, I don't want to actually ever pole dance like ever, but it can be arranged if like needed.
You know, that's funny because Cover and I were just talking about I wanted to buy a pole.
You should.
And put it in the house because I don't know why. I think that learning how to pole dance would just be like so cool.
It's also the best workout. Like I've never done a pole dancing class, but some of my friends have. And the strength it takes.
I was going to say it has to be. Like
to pole dance is absurd.
Yeah. Like holding on with just your thighs. How?
like you're going to have a banging bod. So I actually support if you want to put a pole in your future home. I also don't know, look, if I even answered the question for this listener. I think it's a personal preference.
Yeah.
It's a no for us.
I mean, yeah, no for me. But, I mean, yeah.
Like, to each their own. But, like, kind of icky. I get icky vibes just from that question. Thoughts on men setting boundaries with their female friends once they get into a relationship?
Okay. Michael's really great at this as well.
Michael's a saint. I don't even know this man, but I'm like, Michael for president.
Yeah. Well, he's like very much for the girls. I don't know. Like when I met him, he was just like, so if there was like, I don't know, like all of his female friends would run to him and give him their problems. But also I'm like, okay, all of your female friends would date you. Like I could tell like I was the lucky one who the friend he did date. But I'm just like, okay, I know that he knows that too. Like some of his friends do like him. And he was just like, okay, well, I know that she likes me. So there has to be boundaries set for that now. There's no hanging out and going to coffee shops. There's no she's sleeping over on the couch anymore. So like, yeah, no, like we started dating and I literally that day, I have to be like sometimes like you need, it's okay for you to check in on your friends. It's okay for you to have them over still. Like we can all still hang out. So I like have to remind him of that all the time because he like set a wall, like a whole border. So yeah.
Michael, if you're listening to this podcast, look, write a book, write a book, write a blog, like tell the men how to act. But I think that's great. Like, I think it's just boundaries. Right. And I think it comes down to if you want a healthy relationship, you have to set boundaries and you have to communicate. If it bothers you as a female, say it.
Yeah.
Like, he can't read your mind.
Right.
Also, it's up to him to also communicate to you, hey, does it bother you that I have these friends? Like, what is the level of this? I also think it depends. Like, for me personally, like, I don't care if you have friends who are girls. But it's like in the past, it's like if you're friends with a girl and you've slept with her, that obviously changes the dynamic a bit. Right. So you just have to disclose that. But yeah, if you're not communicating, again, men aren't mind readers. We aren't mind readers.
Yeah.
You just got to WWMD. What would Michael do?
Yep.
Have you ever had a friendship breakup?
More than
really
enough. I mean, I feel like Los Angeles is just every 6 months. Ask anyone, every 6 months you have a different set of friends. I will say that Cover is like the friend I have wished for since I was little. Like I have like friends back home that I'm just like, oh my gosh, they like no one could ever replace them. But it's just you always change. So whether it's like actually I've had only like maybe 2 of just like blown out of proportion, falling apart, hellfire relationships, but like all the rest of them, you really just, they kind of just like drift away. Like Los Angeles, every 6 months, everyone's doing something different. Everyone's moving. Everyone's like doing something where they're gone. So
what would be your advice to cope with, as someone who's gone through so many friendship breakups, like best way to cope with it?
Oh my gosh. I would say every single time one of the relationships fall apart, I normally notice it's because I end up being more like them and I stop doing what I love. So like if they don't like the beach, I'm like, oh, okay, we'll just go where you want to go. I'm always just like bending to kind of where they want or like what they want to do. Dude, go on a trip by yourself. Like I used to go on trips all the time by myself. Yes. Like that is like one of my last big friend, like I lived in a content house and it just all fell apart. And so I was like, you know what I need to go to Hawaii. So I went to Hawaii by myself for like 2 weeks. And I left and I was like, you know what? Now I'm doing all the things I want to do. I have just been one with the ocean. And I'm like, okay, now it doesn't even matter. I feel like you do some self-reflecting and realize, okay, where are you? Why are you there now? You realize, oh, if the relationship ended and if you aren't aware, if you're aware that it was you, then like fix yourself. But like if it wasn't you, then you can just do some self-reflecting and be like, okay, well, that person's not for me. And there's going to be someone way better. And poof, Cover. So.
Right. I feel like people think of breakups or friendship breakups as like this negative thing.
Right.
We're like, oh, someone's leaving my life and it's sad. And yeah, obviously be sad about it. But you have to realize that when one door closes and you make room and you let someone leave, another door opens and it makes room for someone else.
Yeah.
So if you're holding on to something that doesn't serve you, you're not allowing this new thing to come in. So like, I don't know. I always say, I just don't think friendship breakups are a bad thing. Like I think about some friends I had in LA. LA also is just a beast. I agree with you. Like friendship breakups happen all the time because people are always changing. They're evolving, whatever. It's just like, I don't know if you agree with this, but I personally just think that LA is somewhat of a superficial place. So
it's a high school.
Yes.
It is a high school. You are in and out in 4 years. So serious.
I know. And I prolonged it. I was like, the super senior who stayed for 6 years. Like it was way too long. But you're in and out of LA. But yeah, I went through phases where I finally realized, and I always say this, I want to be around energy givers, not energy takers. So if you're friends with someone and you leave and you feel drained, you feel like your cup is empty, you should not be friends with them.
Yeah.
Like you should leave any situation feeling like light. Yeah. And if you leave feeling, oh my God, I feel exhausted, you need to have a breakup or you need to evaluate something.
Yeah. You know, the also beautiful thing about LA is I have never met more emotionless people. So like I have had so many, like not even, like I'm not even like, I haven't even been friends with all of these people, but like I will sit down, have a full conversation with someone at an event. And then 3 events later, we'll bump into each other. We've never seen each other before in our lives. We've never talked. Yep. You don't even know that we know each other. And it's like weird because then whenever you're somewhere else and there's like less people there, maybe they don't have any of their friends there. They're like, how have you been? I haven't seen you in so long. I'm like,
we've met.
But yeah, I'm just like, but then you just ignore that. And it's just like if someone walks up to you and you're like, we've never met. Hi, my name is, but we have met 3 times. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what a pleasure to meet you. Like every single time I meet someone now, like I always introduce myself because I'm like, 1, you should never expect someone to know you. And 2, the way that people just don't care in LA, like if you say, hi, my name's Tabitha, in 1 ear, out the other. They don't even remember you said that. So yeah, it's definitely a high school. Like there's definitely like that cliquey group, the popular group.
And that is the number one reason I left Los Angeles. Like it was fun for a little bit. You go through your club rat phase, you go through your party phase. Oh my God, I loved me. What was it? Warwick Wednesday. Oh my God, give me a table with a bunch of people I don't know. I thrived. And then I realized I'm like, I don't want to go to events and pretend like I don't know you when I've met you 3 times, but we're all too cool to.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Like maybe it's too cool. Maybe that's a good way to put it. Because
like 100% is.
I've met some of the world's most loved influencers and like I love them. Like there's so many girls. Like it's so funny. Like we went to Coachella and like I love Zoe Fish. Like I love her outfits. I love who she is. Like she's like a fashion icon. And it's like she's in the same space, but I'm like Zoe Fish, Emma Chamberlain, like Liza Koshy. I'm like, I just love them. And there are so many people in LA that you meet who are like, those girls are really, really cool. But there's like, those aren't the girls I'm talking about. But like, there's so many girls that are loved on the internet that I have met. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love them so much. And then I go to meet them. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were going to be lame. Like
nothing more disappointing.
Wish, like, I bet they would have been different if I walked up and I like looked like a fan. Like I've met girls and I was like so excited to meet them, and they were just like, we're so lame. And I'm like, do you treat all your fans like that? I'm not saying I'm a fan, but like I'm kind of a fan. But like I'm like that would have been such a lame interaction if I was just like some random little girl on the street.
And that's my biggest fear. And like, look, I don't even have a huge platform, but I'm like, I just want people to meet me and be like, oh, you're the same in person that you are online. I think there's nothing worse than being like, I don't know, like you fake this persona online and then someone meets you and then they're like, oh man, this girl sucks. Like, she's actually the worst. Yeah. I'm like, that's my biggest nightmare.
Yeah. But I see that's a good way to give people the benefit of the doubt. I mean, no, it's not. It's the opposite. Because like I've met some of the most loved influencers and they were just like, cool.
And you're like,
nice to meet you. I'm like,
damn, bro, like you suck.
I wish I never met you. Like, but yeah, I still watch their content, like whatever, because like I like that version of them,
right? Like, but I mean, it just goes to show you that like we live in this age of social media. Like we're on social media, but you just can't believe it. Like it's not like, I hate to burst y'all's bubble, the listeners. It's not real.
It's so sad.
None of it is real. It can be really entertaining, but people have good days, they have bad days, and they're gonna probably show you all their good days, and that's that.
Yeah.
Unless you're me, I like cry on the internet a lot, but like, that's fine.
Wait, did you see about like the Renee Rapp fan situation at Coachella?
No.
Okay, this one I don't agree with. Like when you meet an influencer and they're like, she's not an influencer, a celebrity.
Yeah.
And they're like rude. Like apparently she was like in a VIP booth with her friends.
Okay.
And a fan walks up and they were just like, oh my God, can I get a photo? And she was like, no, but it was really nice to meet you. Cause she's like with friends. She's in a private area. Like with, I don't know, like the whole world was just debating on whether like she was like mean or rude or like whether that was just like distasteful. And I was like, there has been times like I will take a photo through and through, like I will.
Yeah.
But I have been around some of my influencer friends who have a much higher status than me. And we were at a private dinner, and I'm not kidding, quiet private steak dinner, out of nowhere, they're like, hey, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God.
Jump scare.
Yeah. So like, and then that person that I'm with will be like, no, but if you like see us later, we would love to take a photo, like something like that. And I'm just like, I feel like that's respectful. Like,
look, I feel like it's to each their own. Like everyone, again, you're allowed to set boundaries. And here's what I've learned on the internet. I'm really bad at setting boundaries.
Same.
Like I'm a people pleaser. I want to make everyone happy. And it comes at the cost of like, yeah, if I'm with friends and someone comes up to me, I'm going to leave my friends to go make sure this other person is happy.
Same.
And that's because I lack boundaries.
Yeah.
So like, I think, look, Renee Rapp, if she said it politely and she's like, hey, like I'm with friends right now. It was so lovely to meet you. Good for her. Like, I'm honestly like, I support that. Like, because as long as you're not like F off, like go the fuck away.
Right.
But like, yeah, no, you're allowed to say no. And here's the thing. You guys can't get mad. Like the public can't get mad. Like if that is someone's boundary, it's like they have to respect that not everyone wants their life publicized 24/7.
Right. Oh my gosh. You know what's actually so funny? If I were to meet someone, like whenever like supporters come up to me and they're just like, oh my gosh, hi Tabitha, like it's so nice to meet you. Like some of them won't ask for a photo. They'll just be like, it's so nice to meet you. And then they'll cry. And I'm just like, should we take a photo? Do we take a photo? Like, and we'll take a photo and go on. But there has been times where like I was like in Missouri doing something, and like a girl would come up and be like, hi, it's so nice to meet you. Like, I love your stuff so much. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm meeting you. And I have said, oh, okay, should we take because they're still standing there. I'm like, should we take a photo? She's like, I don't want one, but thank you. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, you never know. Like sometimes it's so awkward. So yeah, I need boundaries for sure.
Yeah. Fellow people pleaser right here. Let's just like, okay, there's so many things I want to like talk to you, but like you're a busy gal and you probably have to leave soon. Can we just touch on Jojo Siwa?
Oh my gosh.
Because look, like we have all these girl talk topics, but like people want to know celebrity crushes. They want to know like more dating stuff. But you know what I really want to talk about, because we touched on this before the podcast, is Jojo Siwa and karma and all the things and her rebrand. Okay, personally, I think it's so cringe and so weird, but I just need to know your immediate thoughts on Miss Jojo.
Okay, if I were a time traveler and say I already went to the future, I think she's a mastermind. Like, I think
like
she knows
she's
what
like
she's doing.
Taylor Swift Easter egging mastermind PR genius.
Okay, not Taylor Swift level, but I do think she knows. Like if I were her, like in the future, I think she's gonna look back and be like have some banger song come out, and she's gonna look back and be like, dude, I remember when I did that thing with like the glitter on my face, blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, blah. And like reflect on it and be like, but here I am now. And like, I think she's gonna like have like a real rebrand in the future. But I really do think that this is just for press. Like I think that it's like so chaotic and so everywhere. Like I was at iHeartRadio, like she's doing it right. Everyone's talking about her. Jojo is a household name right now.
Was iHeartRadio the one when she was like in the Kiss costume with the crazy weird makeup?
Yes, okay. And like even like some of the people who walked across the carpet with the most beautiful, stunning pieces, Jojo came. I'm not kidding. The like paparazzi were like, I'm standing here. Paparazzi are losing their minds over this girl on the carpet, right? Taking photos. Then Jojo Siwa just like bebops past them, and they're like, Jojo. And so like everyone wanted a photo of Jojo. Everyone wanted to see her outfit. Like she's doing it right. Like her walking down like the carpet with all of like the fans on the sides. Like everyone knows who that is. So I'm like, she's doing it right. Like,
I mean, I guess she is, but like it's just so, I have secondhand embarrassment watching. I'm not kidding, guys. If you want just to go down the rabbit hole, just type in Jojo Siwa on TikTok and just start going through the stuff. Like I'm just dying of cringe, but
do you wake up in the morning and wonder what JoJo's doing? Because like I
like
wake
low
up and I
kind of.
So I'm like I want to know. Like I'm like I'll just see random clips. Like she has like her future children tattoo. Like the children don't exist yet, but she has tattoos of her children's names. Like I just think that's so funny. Now whether that's a real tattoo or not, I don't know.
We discussed this, and like I've gone down every Jojo Siwa conspiracy theory. Like there's a lot. I think the tattoos are fake.
Okay, I did see, like, okay, the only reason why I saw this one was because, like, someone was like, wait, I found these tattoos. They're, like, press-ons from, like, inked or, like, something where, like, they stay on for a while. And I was like, okay, wait.
Her tattoos
like, you think
are
all
fake?
of them are fake? Like,
I legitimately think that,
they don't last that long. So, like,
guys,
what?
when it comes out on TikTok that like Jojo Siwa is a fraud with the tats, mark my words, like I said it first on this podcast, I think it's part of this like crazy rebrand. I think she's trying to pull a Miley Cyrus, like where Miley was like in her bad girl era. And I just think that JoJo is failing. And I think maybe it's part of a master plan. And she comes out and like,
to be. Like imagine one day she's going to come out and she's going to have no tattoos on or anything and be like, huh. Like you guys got me millions and millions of streams views. And let's talk about Snapchat. Like I think she was like one of the most highest viewed Snapchatters. But like her fake pregnancy one where she pretended to be pregnant, like Snapchat pays so well, so like it doesn't matter like if it's cringe or like not or like whatever the hell she's doing. They just
pay for views.
She like they've made her so much money from just like watching. Like same with what's his name, the guy who went through a divorce, and I think he might have been a boxer. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's a YouTuber, but he did like boxing.
Oh, Jake Paul, one of the Pauls.
Wait, no.
Oh, aren't they in boxing and YouTubers? Okay, different one.
It starts with an A. Wait, starts Austin McBroom.
Oh,
Austin McBroom.
Shoot. Okay,
No,
I'm
yeah,
out of the loop.
Austin McBroom. He's like a bit. Have you seen all of his Snapchat bits? Like,
no.
It started as a joke, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sure he was just like, oh my gosh, money." And now he just like keeps it going.
Do I need to download Snapchat?
If you download Snapchat and just go haywire, like just go all over the place, then like.
But here's the thing. You know what makes me cringe is like guys. I feel like the younger crowd. How old are you?
23.
That's why you have Snapchat, and that's why you're good at Snapchat. I'm 30.
Wait, I swear Austin McBroom's like 32.
Well, damn, I don't know. Some of my friends still have Snapchat, but if a man asks me, he's like, "What's your Snap?"
Okay, then no. Immediately, no.
I'm like, no. I want to throw up.
Absolutely not.
And like, if it's gonna make me money, I'm like, well, money
no, get
talks.
Snapchat. Trust me. Restart an account. Do not use your high school account. I literally threw that away.
I have my high school account.
I started a new account, and so I only have like 8 people added, which is Alex, Cover, Michael, like some hometown friends. That is it. Like, I don't snap. We don't like. I Snapchat my boyfriend probably a month ago. He hasn't opened it yet. He doesn't use Snapchat. So,
wow.
Like we just use it as like a platform to like post. It's also weird because like whenever you do go on like the creator side, the whole Snapchat account looks different. Like my Snapchat doesn't look like my little sister's Snapchat. Like it's like analytics and like it kind of has like a setup to where how you would like edit and do TikTok and stuff like that.
Damn. So. Okay. Well, guys, all I've learned from this podcast is I'm an idiot and I need to download Snapchat. Oh my gosh. Before we wrap up, is there any girl topics that you wanted to chat about that's just like off the rails and you're like, I feel like we need to talk about this?
I feel like we covered a lot of it.
Unless
there's something where you're just like, Tabitha, tell us.
Tabitha, tell us, because this is at the top of my list. I know you're happily like in a beautiful relationship with Michael for president, which is what I'm going to call him. What's your like, if you guys, knock on wood, you're not going to break up because he's a gem. If you guys did break up, and you had a celebrity crush and you could go on a date with literally any celebrity.
Adam Sandler.
Really?
I would. Like
no. You're literally lying.
I'm so, get this. Like I am so incredibly about like the personality that my boyfriend now is Adam Sandler already. Like he is him. Like the way he dresses, the way he looks, like his whole vibe. That
he's you are a personality.
No, like I love Adam. Like that is one person that could probably make me starstruck if I saw him.
Right. It's just, I agree. He's so funny, but I'm saying, like, would you be like romantically
would marry Adam Sandler? Yes.
Like you'd sleep with Adam Sandler
in his younger days. Like, would I sleep with him? I don't.
I'm like, I don't know. I look at the paparazzi photos and like the baggy pants and like the b-ball shorts and the slides, and I'm like. Yeah, I don't know if that Adam Sandler can get it.
Wait, I feel like I can't like talk about like like whenever I was younger, like I did have like movie star crushes, but I've met them all now. And
wait, what movie star crush did you have that you've met? No. We can't say it.
Off the podcast.
Okay, deal.
Yeah.
Okay, and they didn't live up to expectations?
I think it's just like now that I know them, I'm like, it's an inappropriate thing to say.
Okay. So, fair.
Yeah, even like all like the guy influencers that people just like are drooling over. Like I've met, like I've gone on a couple blind dates, like for social media stuff. I've met them and I'm just like,
not it.
It's not that I'm not impressed by them at all. It's just like I realize, they're just a human being just like me. And it's not that there's nothing special to them, but I'm
sure
just
like, it takes away that like illusion that they're like a superstar, this hot. being.
But also, I think there's something wrong with me. Like, growing up, I'm not kidding. Like, my boyfriend says this now. Alex and Michael will be walking down the road, and Cover and I are standing there, and they're like, you think they're hot? And we're like, no, like, have you ever seen someone so chiseled that you're just like, no, that's just not it? Or like guys who have like really?
No,
like,
I want a Greek god.
That's crazy. Like, I just like, I will look at someone and I'm just like, I don't know why my eyes just like don't go there. Like, I'm just like, if a man that like someone was like, oh my God, he's so hot. If he passed me, I'm not kidding. Like, I don't know why I just like don't see him.
I mean,
like
I guess
that.
I get like, no, I don't want this man that every girl's thirsting over. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like some girls see the influencer hot guy with abs and they're like, I want to go on a date with him. He's 6'4" and so hot. And I'm like, I do think if every girl is thirsting for someone, I'm like, I'm going to tap out.
Yeah.
But I do love the idea of like a chiseled, just
Young
beautiful.
Leonardo.
Oh, yes,
There
please.
we go. I was
yes.
like, who? But then it's like, what? Leonardo doesn't take him past 25.
Like,
so
look, I'm just saying, if Michael for president, like if that ends, you could go. Leo now though.
No, that's what I'm saying. No.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. What do you think about dad bods though? Like, would you?
Dude, I think that like if the dad bod came with a solid personality, I'm there.
Okay, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, I think if the personality speaks volumes, I just like, I do love an ab.
Yeah.
Sitch.
Yeah.
Maybe just 2. It doesn't need to be 6 of them. Just like 4.
Two abs.
I'll take 4 actually. It doesn't need to be 8.
Just 2.
Just 2.
so funny.
Okay, so Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't know who mine. I would say like mine's Zac Efron, but before everything went wrong.
Oh, like before
Like
class.
young.
Oh,
Zach.
yeah,
Oh my God, Zach. What was the movie? 17 again?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I'm
Wait, who's
love.
I've never seen him since, but who's the like cowboy from the Miley Cyrus movie? Hannah Montana movie.
I know
don't
exactly
even
who
like
you're
the
talking
bright
about.
blue eyes. He fits into the
And
category
he's
of like
so
Zac Efron.
cute.
Yeah.
I know.
Don't know where he is now, but
You know what? He might be single.
could be.
I'm gonna find
single
him.
and probably like 50. Actually, no.
You know what? I'll
He could
take
be
older.
50.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. Okay, I'm gonna find this man, and we're gonna figure out who he is. Okay, Adam Sandler, young Zac Efron, cool. I like a chiseled Greek god. You like Adam Sandler? That's what I picked up from this. It's fine. Look, you're happily with someone. All is well.
Wait, you know what's actually really funny? Just a really quick, I know
What?
we're like pushing time here, but I was like, my boyfriend and I were at dinner and like one of our friends was at this party and they were just like, hey, you want to come? I'm like, nah, I'm not a party girl. Like, it's not my vibe. So I was like drinking so much at this dinner my boyfriend and I were at. I get a text that says, we just saw Adam Sandler. He's here. The way that we got in an Uber so fast and went, like, I was like, I will be there. I was like,
so you've seen the man in person?
I have not seen him in person. He was gone. I was like, did someone lie to me? Like, what? Like, Kevin Hart was apparently there too. And I got there and I was like, if I saw Adam Sandler in person, like, I would be like, listen, I will do anything to be in your movie. I'm not kidding. Like, I would probably have to, you know, like the ugly sister role in like, I would play that. Like, I would kill a like awkward, weird role. And so I was
Just
like,
to be
please,
next to Adam
like,
Sandler.
I will work for free for 10 years. I will do any movie, work for free. Put me in a movie.
Okay. Well, look, you're manifesting it on this podcast, and I swear, if you are in a movie with Adam Sandler, you have to come back on the podcast
and
tell the story.
It hard cuts to me saying, "Oh, dear Adam Sandler, like, would you sleep with him?" Like,
and it's also going to cut to, I think I'd work for free for 10 years to be in a movie with Adam Sandler. And it's like, look, if there's a will, there's a way. And we're all about we're manifesting girlies on this podcast. Oh my God, Tabs, I could talk to you literally all day long, but I'm sure we've already gone over time. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. Next time in 10 years, I'll
when-
let you know where I'm at.
When you move to Nashville and you have
Also
your
that.
farm and all the fun things, you're more than welcome to
I'll bring
come.
Cover after the wedding.
Oh my God, yes. Let's have wedding talk. Your girl talk with Tabs off the rails. You're welcome literally anytime.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Where for the people who don't already follow you, where can everyone like catch up with all things Tabs online?
Literally just my name, Tabitha Swatosh, at Tabitha on everything.
Oh, you make it easy. Love it. Oh my God. Well, until next time, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for listening to Off the Rails podcast. It's been real, it's been unhinged, and I'll see everyone next week. In the meantime, do all the podcast things, like, listen, leave a 5-star review, and catch up with me on socials at Off the Rails with Morgan. Bye.